Well, welcome everybody to your yoga practice in your yoga space and to this heat wave that we are in here in Calgary. Woo, let's honor that. And one thing I heard or I read was that, we need this to break up and burn off whatever needs to be burned off. So it's been a long time of living one way. We're all, I have these teenage girls and there were tears yesterday because what's happening? What am I doing? What's this? What's my plan? I think we're all kind of feeling like that. This is a time of transition and change. And, I'll say this over and over again. And you say it to yourself to really gift yourself permission to go slow, to feel, to be, to let things move through and literally burn away. It's integral, it's like, this is a time of transformation, and we've been talking about that since March 2020. This is a time of intense transformation we are all in. Transformation is energy, and it's tough. If it was easy to make change, everyone would do it, but it's not easy. So just to honor your transition time, anything you're going through, let it burn away. All right, I'm going to start by just taking my glass of water. I'm just going to hold it in my hands, just receive the cool waters. If you want to bring it to your third eye, that feels nice for you. Let's just close our eyes and take a few breaths to just settle, to honor this great gift of water. So simple and relatively abundant, yet so precious. And I'm just going to bring my glass down now to rest in front of my heart. And let's begin by just placing our intentions. So if you're feeling any of what I just spoke about in your own life, then, just place into your cup or into your hands, what is it you're looking for? What is it you're striving for? What would you like to have happen? What are you inviting in? It doesn't even need to be specific. It could just be words such as health, stamina, energy, strength, calm, quiet, social. Maybe that you're missing that and looking forward to being more social, more outings, more engaged. Good. And then I'm just going to bring this in with maybe did this the other day. I'll just take some water into the mouth and you can just let it sit there or move it around. So you really are in that sensation of wet, of water. And then you'll swallow it down and just receive, the temperature of the water down your body. Nice, easy breathing as you do that. And then we'll just reverently, so you hold, like it's this great precious thing. We'll set the water glass aside. And bringing your hands together in front of your heart. And we'll open practice and chant Om 3 times. And we'll also, So we'll start with one big breath in. Hold it there. Lift up from the inside. Hold your breath. Lift up. And then open your mouth. Exhale. And inhale for your first Om. Bowing your chin, release your hands to your thighs, lift your chin and open your eyes. Okay guys, so we're going to start with some very gentle cat-cows. So moving into your hands and your knees, placing whatever you need there for support. Good. And yes. And then just once you hit neutral, tuck your toes under, take a few breaths there. So you're not quite cat, not quite cow. It's receiving almost, there's a bit of exploration in finding that in-between space. Yes. Okay. And then whenever you're ready, we'll start as you inhale, drawing the belly up, dropping the tail, dropping the head. Press the hands down into the floor. And as you exhale, reverse. Lift your chin. You might even lift your eyes. Good. And just taking your time. So if you want to hang out anywhere, you can. Just move nice and slow. Breathing. If it turns into a little happy cat-cow dance, let that be. Meaning, if you start to feel you're rocking forward and back, whatever it is. Okay. All right. Let's do one more of each. And then you'll just come back to your neutral again. We'll just hang out in neutral for a breath or two. Okay, now we're going to do some circular cat-cow. So we'll start by dropping the belly down. So on your, I say exhale, but if inhale feels more right to you, that's fine. Drop down, look up, and then shift the ribs over to one side. Roll up and over. And again, nice and slow. Move with your breath. Let it be what it is. And just feel how everything is moving. Your head, your shoulders, your chest, your tail. Maybe you feel your heels or your feet moving a little bit. And reverse. Just go in the opposite direction. Again, as slow as you like. I'm just going to do one more in this direction. Okay, and then we're going to come to neutral. From neutral, yogi's choice here. If you want to just sit on your heels or you want to take child's pose, anything, just to be in this, moment of receiving what you've opened, just start to feel your breath opening. So we'll just take 2 more breaths in your stillness. You can close your eyes if you like. Yeah, whatever works. Good. Okay. And then we'll come up, or if you're already sitting, just open your eyes. We're going to take your bolster, and if you don't have a bolster, just use some blankets. We're going to move into a supported cow pose. So that is just, I'm going to sit on the floor. I'm going to just lie over top. And so this is it. So once you get here, friends, if your tush doesn't quite hit the floor, or your shoulders, or your head needs support, this is where you might throw in blankets or even a block underneath your hips. So you make this angle work for you, but feel like, it's kind of cow pose. Like my shoulders are down, my hips are down, and the belly is now facing up to the sky. I'm going to take my arms out to this goalpost position. If that works, great. If not, put them where you need to. And then you can keep your knees bent if you like. You can also stretch your legs out. You can take your basic resting pose with the feet wide and the knees together. And once you're in the shape in the torso, then whatever you do with the legs is your choice. Okay, and then we breathe. And we just receive. And it's dropping and releasing. Okay, so the more you're here and the more things start to receive this shape, I'm going to start to stretch my arms over my head, and that's okay for me. I'm going to open the hands nice and wide and just kind of anchor the fingernails to the floor. And the arms can be bent or straight. Just breathing, and you'll notice that the breath will start to elongate. And bring it right up into your upper chest. And then I'm going to add the feet. Now, if your legs are stretched out, maybe you just add a little bit of flexion, or you make your feet like you're standing on them. You don't have to put a lot of effort in. Just open up. Receive your breath. Okay. So I'm hoping you're comfortable and settled. The body's starting to open. I'm going to keep my arms where they are. I'm going to bend the knees. I'm going to feel which leg wants to go first and bend the opposite one. And then both feet on the floor. Heel toe your feet apart a little bit. And we're just going to move into a very gentle windshield wiper, meaning, depending on how this position is for you, is going to dictate how deep the windshield wiper is, how fast it is. Okay, so we'll just start experimenting, move side to side with your knees, let your feet pivot. Maybe find a way to coordinate this movement with your breath. We'll just do maybe one or two more. And then we're going to drop the knees over to the right side. And again, it could just be a little bit. Maybe you throw a block there to support them, or you take them all the way. Okay, I'm going to add the arms. So if your arms are over your head, I'm going to take the right hand, find the left wrist, and just give this left arm a gentle pull. And at the same time as I'm pulling, remember our solar plexus work? I'm pressing the belly in, down. So I'm anchoring into the bolster. And then I'll extend out through the left side, up to the arm, and out through the knee. I'm still breathing and happy. Good. Okay, one more breath in whatever shape you're in. Make it comfortable, no straining. And then we'll release the hands, bring the knees up. Pause in the center for a moment. I just lifted my hips, kind of give them a little shake out, and then put them back down. And then take a few breaths, even with your knees bent, just feel how the two sides have changed in the equality of receivership in breath. Even you might notice a very slight, depending how deep that was. Okay, whenever you're ready, friends, on the exhale, we'll take the knees slowly to the left. Just be cautiously kind. Prop up as you need. And then just feel into that for a few breaths. So we're just inviting the space, the body to mold the shape. Okay, so here I'm going to take left hand, it's going to find the right wrist, give it a gentle pull, and then really invite in the breath to fill these spaces. You'll start to add a little bit of extension through the right side. So from the side of the waist, pressing up, from the side of the waist, pressing down. Nice breathing. Whatever shape you're in, you're offering the breath a new pathway. Okay, I'll release, bring the knees back up. Again, I'm just going to plant the feet, lift my hips, give them a little shake, and then put them back down. And then just feel. Okay. All right, so from here, we'll just roll over. I'm going to roll to the right. Oh, so nice. As I do this, I love that. I always forget how much I love this. Just bring yourself back a little bit so that you can put that bolster underneath that side waist, so almost in the same place you had it before. Sometimes we bring this up higher, like all the way to the underarm, but here, have it about like mid-chest placement. And then you can stretch your arm out if this works and feels okay. Maybe the legs, kind of see what feels good here if I take the legs. There's no prescription. They might go straight out. You might bend one and pop one, the top leg over or back. Just be curious for a few moments. Okay, and then notice, once you've settled your legs, if your chin is tucking in, you're kind of curling forward. Can you open that up? So I take the arm back a little bit, the head back. resting my ear on the arm, or you can put a blanket there too. And then the last thing is to take the left arm all the way up and over. And you might just hold hands or interlace your fingers. You can grab that wrist and give it a gentle pull. And feel free to close your eyes. Good. Okay. Now I'm going to keep the arms and as much of the, like, let's say from the shoulder up, head, everything where it is, and just start to roll your hip forward and back. And that might shift your balance, so go slow, but just kind of feel, oh yeah, like I'm getting into places that don't get this. So you guys have known, I think all of you have done this with a block. Bolster is very forgiving. Yeah. So after you've rocked forward and back a few times, just settle in. I'm going to add flexion into my feet because my legs are straight, but whatever your legs are is fine. Add a little flexion if you can. Breathe nice and deep because that is doing the work for you. Right? We're in the shape and now it's the breath. Yeah. Okay, one last breath here. And then we'll release. And now we're going to go to cat. So you'll just roll onto your tummy. And then you can adjust this bolster. You might push it down a little bit. I want it to be like right on your tummy. So you feel the hip bones are down at the bottom and maybe you feel your ribs are at the top. And then go ahead and lower down. You can let your legs flop in any way. I do have my toes turning in and heels out just to open the back a little bit. Do what feels right. Okay. And now the breath is already used to doing the work here. So you're going to notice as you drop in, that breath is now going to open the back body in such a lovely way. So just be with that. So just a few more moments here. Okay, so let's stay on the bolster. We'll just take it up for Sphinx. So we'll add a little back bend. So just bring the forearms to the floor, spread the fingers. And you can move the shoulders away from your ears and then anchor down from the shoulders to the elbows. I'm going to tuck my toes under. Good. Okay. So now in the Sphinx, start to drop the tailbone down. We have the bolster kind of drawing. Sometimes I say draw your belly in when we're here. You could do that too, but that's happening a little bit just because of where the bolster is. So now take your face and see, can I get the back of my neck long? So where would I have to look so I feel the back of my neck is not being, crunched. And then once you find that, where that is, then draw your chin in, like you want a double chin. And then breathe and smile. So it's almost like taking the chin in is moving the chest back. And then feel your breath. Okay. Well, when you do hot yoga, if you've ever done it, I did it for quite a few years in my much younger years. You warm up so fast. So you can do all these things. So all we're going to do here, nothing fancy. I'm just going to move this into a cobra pose or a seal pose. So just move the forearms, turn them out a little bit, plant the hands, and then lift up. So if this doesn't give you any back pain, then go there. Then I'm going to lengthen the low back. So almost like I'm taking my tailbone and pressing it down. And take the belly in, find where the head goes. So the back of the neck is long and then double chin. And then into all of that, you push the hands into the floor. So that's also going to take the belly back a little bit, and you might even feel relief in the chin back. Good. So I'll stay here for 2 more breaths. And then we're going to slower all the way back down. And you'll just change the, whichever hand you had on top, change it. Come back to just this lying over the bolster, supported cat pose. And notice if your breath has expanded just from those little few things. You can maybe take a deeper breath in. Feel the belly pushing into the bolster and the back opening with the breath. Let's just take 2 or 3 more breaths here. Good. And then we're just going to roll over onto the right side. And I'm just going to flip around, so I'm going to move my back to you, but you just roll over onto your, what did I say, right side? Is it left side? It's left side, left and right. So just roll onto your left side so that you find that bolster is, it's not super high between your pelvic bones and your ribs, and then, do what you need to with your legs, knowing that you will come down and maybe take that top arm over. You take your time to find it. Yes. And you could interlace your fingers here. You could just rest your hand. You could put a block in between them if you need that support for your shoulders. If it's too much to bring it down, just hold a block between your hands. Or you could take that left hand and grab hold of the right wrist, give it a little pull. Okay, so once you're settled, then I'll just remind you, and you take your time. Now I'm just going to draw the chin back a little bit. Find, where I feel I'm okay, steady. And then I'll just start to rock that top hip forward and back a couple times. Moving with your breath. And so you don't have to do that many of them. You're going to know when you're done. And then you'll just settle in. Just feel like that right hip, that one that's facing to the ceiling, is just maybe even dropping back. So without tilting yourself or losing your balance, that's going to open up something. Good. And breathing here. Good. So we'll just take 3 more breaths. Okay. Then we're just going to come back onto the tummy, and that will just be our exit point. So from here, I'll just anchor the hands and come back up. Hands and knees. Okay, we'll just sit for a few moments. If you would rather do child's pose, you have your bolster there, go ahead and do that. Otherwise, just be in this experience, let everything be soft, your eyes soft, your jaw soft, and feel the expansiveness and the openness you have created. Okay, good. So we're going to take another supported version of Cobra. Okay, so your bolster is, I'm just coming around. You don't have to change sides. The bolster is going to stay in the center of your mat. And you'll take your 2 blocks. Ta-da! And they're going to go together long ways. And I'm just going to put them down, like wherever my knees are. They're going to go, doop, just one in front of each knee. Okay, you're going to know if you want to separate them out and create more space. So once I have them down, hands and knees, and then I'll just bring my thighs on top of the blocks. I have the bolster. You can snuggle the bolster in if you like. And we're just going to come back to Sphinx with the legs lifted. Okay, I'm walking my toes in. I'm going to press a little bit up through the heels and then just add in all that Sphinx stuff, which is, elbows, shoulders back, and then press into your elbows. Lengthen the back of your neck. Draw the chin in. And then see, you know, in this space, if you can just, I'm going to say drop the tailbone, but the other thing is we drop the tailbone, the low belly kind of loops in. So just feel all of that for yourself. Okay, keep pressing the elbows into the floor so the chest lifts a little bit. Okay, so you can stay right here, it's all good. Or we take just lift the forearms, turn the hands out, and come up to this version of seal pose or, you know, extended cobra. Just melting in. Feel. One more breath. Okay, and then we're just gonna lower down. You can let your feet do whatever. If the blocks don't feel like nice for you, you can take them out. But the advantage to the blocks here is holding the thighs back. So we get this lower back curve coming in, and also, you know, it's nice release for the hip flexors. So if you can be here with the blocks and the bolster, lower your forehead to your hands and be with your breath. You can let your feet relax or keep the toes tucked under if that's happier for your knees. Good. Okay, so let's just take one more breath. I say one more, but then I'm like, maybe three more. The more you exhale and drop in, and just let the thighs kind of move back. Good practice. Okay, and whenever you're ready, you'll just pop yourself back up onto your hands and knees. And we'll just take the blocks. I'm just going to put them at the front of the mat. Okay, so we're going to take a bent knee lunge. So I'll keep the bolster where it is. I'm just going to step my right foot over. Find that for yourself. Maybe I'll just change the camera angle here so you can see. Okay. Okay, so you have your right foot down, you're on your blocks, and now you're just going to find that place where you might move your bolster, you know, where you put the knee down, but the thigh is on the bolster. Now that might not happen depending on how open you are. So, you know, be okay with whatever's happening. I'm just going to breathe here. Okay, so I'm kind of hunching forward just to show you. I'm going to take the shoulders back and down, press into the blocks, see if I can lift. And maybe I'll even lift my gaze and look up at the ceiling. So there's a back bend. Breathe, see if you can melt your thigh to the bolster. Good. Okay. Then we're just going to switch legs. But first I'll come back and we find that right foot back as best as you can. We'll sit for a moment to feel, or you know, hopefully sitting like this is okay. Feel your heart beating, all that good stuff. Take one. Actually, let's take a little interlude. Bring the hands together, interlace the fingers, and just give yourself a nice big stretch. Anchor the tops of your feet, draw your belly in. One more breath. And then release, hands down. And we're going to go second side. And you find your blocks, find your left foot. And it could also be out, you know, I should say, like, you know, there's no, when we bring the foot in, I always say foot between the hands because that's just but you can have it walking out. You honor where you need. Okay, then find your bent knee lunge, adjust. Okay, maybe you tuck the toes under or top of the foot down, whatever it is, and pull the bolster in or out. And then breathe here. Good. Anchor your feet, even the top of the foot if it's down. And then you press into the blocks, open your heart. Maybe you look up if it's there, but let your jaw relax. Okay, now I'm going to just press thigh into bolster a little bit. One more breath. Good. Okay, and then slowly extricate yourself out. Find it. Sit. Breathe. Okay, we'll take one more breath, and then we're going to bring the hands together. Opposite interlace, flip your palms, reach up. Anchor your feet if that's where you are. You might even start to pull the arms apart. The fingers are really connecting. And then on your exhale, release your hands. Okay, we're going to come back to the blocks. And we're going to move into pigeon with the bolster. So I'll just sweep my right leg, take it out. So I'm on the edge of the foot. You know, you'll find your way with the knee down, and then you kind of just walk back. And hopefully this works. Now, being on the blocks might be too much. So if the blocks are too much, lower them down or put your hands on the floor, or even if you need to go right into all the way down, do that. Okay, we're just gonna breathe here again. I'm opening the heart. As you can see, this is a back bend. There's a lot happening. Okay, I'm gonna take the belly back. And if you wanna move, you know that no pose is ever static. If you need to rock, do it. Breathe. Okay, so for those of you who want to challenge yourself a little more, but not at the expense of your back. Okay, I know I can do this without taking in my back. So I'm going to bring the belly in. I'm hugging the legs towards each other, almost like I'm squeezing into the bolster. Oh, look, my hands came off already. And then I'll reach up. But, you know, you're reaching. And if you feel any discomfort, you put your hands back down. Take one more breath. And then release. Hands to the blocks. I'm just coming back to sit. So you just find your way out. Okay, I'm going to tuck the toes under this time and just sit on the heels. Just feel yourself, you know, opening. Maybe you're sweating. Hot yoga. Good. Okay, and then we'll come back for second side. I'll take the hands to the blocks. That might just be helpful to kind of get that left leg around and find your place. And then once that left knee comes down, you'll walk the right knee back. Okay, like I said, be considerate to this body and what it needs. So if this is too deep, lower it down. You know how to make space for yourself, right? Okay, now we'll breathe here. Just settle in. And lifting your heart, even just a little lift. Maybe take the belly back. Okay, I'm gonna add the arms. So I squeeze like the legs are just squeezing into that bolster. That lifts me up right away. Belly in, arms up if that is okay. Breathe. That can be very intense, so be kind. And then release. Okay, so this time I'm gonna just sweep that leg around and come to sit on the bolster. How novel is that? Okay, we'll just go cross-legged. You can keep your blocks. That might feel nice for your hands if you like that. And just breathe here. Good. Okay, well, say forward folds are cooling, but sometimes they can be really heating. I'm just gonna turn and face you. So you're staying on your bolster. You adjust if you need blankets, you know, I don't even need to say it, right? You take care of yourself. I'm gonna move into forward fold, but I'm gonna use the blocks to support my forehead. So it's not gonna be a super deep forward fold. I'm just showing you different ways. Sometimes I just even hold the block and find it. So however works for you, you build your house. And you just find that place where the forehead or the crown of the head or your third eye space can rest. And if that doesn't work for you, then, you know, you just, maybe you might even, if bringing the forehead down doesn't work, then what I would do is take my hands to the floor and just press them forward a little bit so you're moving into a version of cat. And then just drop your head. Just focus on dropping your head. If your forehead is supported or your third eye or your hairline, just drop in here and breathe. Hands are still supporting. And melt your seat into your seat. You may even be able to melt your heart space down a little bit. And if you feel your body's opening and maybe your setup is too big, then, you know, feel free to adjust at any time. Yeah. And let's take 2 or 3 more breaths. And then very slowly walk yourself up. And once you're upright, if you want to stretch your legs out, do that. But you might even keep your eyes closed or just resting at the floor. we're just going to change the cross of the legs. So you take your time. You know, if you need more time in between, take it. Otherwise, you just slowly find your way in. Be very, aware that the two sides can be very different. But very slowly, luxuriously invite myself into this shape. And if you smile to yourself, it's going to soften something. And moving into your final few breaths. Good. Okay, and then slowly walking yourself up, and again, do what you need to do with your legs. Take a few moments. Just be here. Okay, so our next pose, friends, is going to be a wide-legged standing forward fold. It's going to be our only standing pose today. Okay, so what I'm going to do here, you might move my blocks are already on my long side. You can move them to your long side, and maybe you turn on your bolster as well. Okay, this is how I'm going to do it. I'm going to open my legs out and just take myself up and down. So, and then once you're here, you can walk your legs wider. And if that doesn't work, you just fake it till you make it. And then once we're in this wide-legged, you might go onto your blocks right away. Let's just move your hips and your legs a little bit here. Just swaying side to side. And if you want to add the ankles, the ankles are getting it here. But what I'm going to do is as I shift to one side, I'm just going to lift that foot up, the opposite foot, just to kind of get a little bit of rotation. Yeah, that's it. That's it. Nothing complicated. Just here it is. Good. Okay, so let's do one more on each side. And then we'll plant the feet. Maybe you walk them out, pigeon toe your feet a little bit. And then we're going to forward fold. You might do this. You might do this. You might be able to rest your head. So just wherever you go, there you are. Yeah, whatever you're doing here, just hanging, letting your head hang, and letting from the hips to the heels, the legs strong, even anchoring the inner edges of your feet. Okay, so if you can go quite low, you might have one block under your head if your head doesn't quite touch the floor, and your hands can walk back. That's just the deeper part of this wide-legged forward fold. And we're just going to be here for another few breaths. So make them nice and easy. Good. Okay, one last breath. And then you'll just bring yourself, back onto your hands. I'm going to come back down the same way I came in. Let's walk the feet in a little bit, lower down. Ta-da! And then we're like in a seated squat. So I'm just going to stay in this seated squat. I'm sitting on the bolster. If this works, great. If it doesn't, maybe it's here, or you're just here, or you just go cross-legged. So just here, I'm going to lift myself nice and tall. You put your feet wherever works. Arms can go wherever they need to. It's just about finding this lift, feeling your breath. Take one more. Just soften your pelvic floor, your tail. Good. Okay. And then, so from here, I'm going to come off the bolster. And just before we do legs up the wall is going to be our next pose. But from here, I'm going to just move the bolster up. I'll take just one block, and you might want to. You never know. Okay, so I'm a little bit away from the bolster. So when I lie down, it's just the ribs The head, you can put a blanket there. Okay, so this should be fine. So we'll start here in this shape, and then I'll let you know we're going to put a block under the sacrum, and that block can be any height you like. Okay, so we'll start just in this version of cat. No, cow, with the belly re-dropping down. But here our shoulders are supported. Put your arms, if they go over your head, great. If they need to go out to the side or down by your sides, do that. And then close your eyes. You want to stretch your legs out or keep them bent, yogi's choice. Good. Again, just coming back to that idea at the very beginning of filling yourself up with your breath, all the way up into your chest, the sides of your chest. Maybe you can feel your collarbones moving. Okay, if your arms are over your head or anywhere but by your sides, just bring them down now. And they don't have to be right by your sides, could be 30 degrees away. Let's let the shoulders soften. If you want to turn your palms up, then go ahead and do that. You might notice the shoulders drop a little bit more. Good. Okay, let's take one more breath. And then if your legs are extended, just feel which leg wants to bend first. Bend the opposite one. Put your feet on the floor. And then we'll walk the feet in a little bit. I'm going to lift the hips up and just sway in the hammock a couple times. So you're just lifting one hip up and then drop it down, lift the other hip. Let that, and it turns into a circling. You know, there's some effort there, but just moving your hips around here and the lower back. You know, if you've got the circling, just make sure you reverse it at some place. So let's work. It's good work. Okay, so let's do one big breath in and out, and one more big breath in and out. And then let your hips settle before you put the block in. Just rest into that motion of your ocean. And then when you're ready, you'll find your block or two blocks. If you like two blocks, you know, I'll just show that. So I would just put one block on top of the other. So it's almost like the second height, but you get a little bit more support for your sacrum. So if you like to do that, or whatever you want to do, just so that you feel your hips are supported, they might even be higher than your heart. Okay, and then we're just going to rest into this shape. Let gravity and the breath and the heat mingle together. The elements of nature, earth, air, fire, and water. Just be with your elemental nature. Then, okay. Well, I feel here I want to lift one leg up and one leg out. So if that works for you, you know, the feet are bent. I kind of heel toe the feet to hip distance apart. You might hold on to your block so you know it's not going to slip out. And we'll just extend the right leg up. And if you want to keep it bent, you keep it bent. And the left leg can come out. And it might, you know, just go extend straight out from the hip, or you could have the heel on the floor. Good. Well, this is Warrior 3, you know, where we stand on one leg. Maybe the arms come over your head. Then you just stretch, anchor into your bolster. One more breath. And then we'll switch sides, and you could do that in midair or not. Just extend and through your heels into your bolster, through your arms. And one more breath. Okay, yogi's choice here. If you want to take both legs up, we are going to go to legs up the wall. Maybe you stay here for a moment or two and good. Okay. You can stay as long as you like because I'm just going to set the feet on the floor, take everything out, and then set up for legs up the wall. So whatever works. You know, you come take the blocks out first. Maybe you take a moment to just feel this change of shape and change of gravity. Okay, when you're ready, you'll just roll off your bolster to one side and then we'll set up. But you take your time. Time is a gift. And this time is a gift. Okay, so I'm going to take my bolster a little bit away from the wall. If it's better for you to have your hips far away from the wall, so there's not such a big angle for your legs, do that. You can have something for underneath your head. But if you're good in this hood, just find your legs up the wall. Yeah, so legs up the fireplace, whatever it is. You know, there you are. Okay. All right, so we're going to settle here for about 5 minutes, and then we're going to move into Shavasana. So if you want longer here or you want less, you guide your ship. But I'll let you know when I'm transitioning and into Shavasana, and we can just guide the end of our practice in this very receptive, cooling, and healing way. Change the pull of gravity on the legs. And let the head relax, the heart relax, the shoulders drop. And the breath, go where it is invited. So you could start with some nice, full inhales, exhales, and then you'll just know when it's time to drop all of that and just be. Okay, so staying as you are for as long as you like. The next thing I'm going to do here is to just bend the knees, feet to the wall. I'm going to take the bolster out and lower my hips to the floor. That's going to give you more stretch in the backs of the legs. So if that's not what you need, then stay as you are or move yourself into Shavasana. Otherwise, I'm just no props except for the wall. Maybe you have something under your head. Just rest with the whole back on the floor. If you need to wiggle yourself back, you can do that too. And then we'll just stay like this for about another minute. And then finding your way into whatever you choose to spend the remainder of this practice. And for me, it's going to be Shavasana too. And that's where you lie back over the bolster. And you might put a blanket for your head. Just be right back. Staying in your sacred rest. Releasing any tension you're holding in your face, your jaw, your tongue, your third eye, even your ears. Releasing all the heaviness, the element of earth within you, letting that go. Creating space for airflow, for breath flow, for the waters in your body to rest. To drink in the fire, to cool it with the waters of your breath and of your softness. choosing to stay here for as long as you like. We're just very luxuriously finding your way back. Stretching yourself long or hugging yourself small. That's there. Eventually resting on your side for a couple of breaths. So just let everything come back very gently, compassionately, kindly. Just meet and seated whenever you arrive. Yes. Okay, once you come up, just take a few moments. Just be in this sacred space you've created. You know, there's transformation that's taken place. We've burned away something. We've released something. Maybe not permanently, but you've made that inroad. You've created a new pathway, new way of thinking and of seeing yourself. It's taking the time to absorb what needs to be absorbed and to blow away what needs to be blown away. Good. Okay, well, bring the hands together at the heart. I'm going to grab my water glass and just bring in this whole thing of water. As you're making your movement, if you want to turn on gallery view to see each other, then, to go ahead and do that. Good. And then just be here again. You can bow your chin to your water or into your hands and just flow your blessings. And it could be as simple as just those 3 words. I am flowing my blessings. I guess that's 4 words. Into this cup. With love and health and joy and experience and exploration ahead. I am ready. And then if you'd like to take a sip of water before we close this practice. Just savoring. Good. All right, and then we'll seal this practice with our May We Be Blessed mantra and 1 inhale. May we be blessed with loving kindness. May we be well. May we be peaceful and at ease. May we be healthy and may we be happy. And into that, friends, we'll flow an Om, inhale. Bow your chin, Om Shanti, Om Peace, Om Namaste. So much love. Lift your chin, open your eyes. Yes, by Sarah. You can give give a heart, give a blow. We'll send that out. And with so much love, everybody. So much love. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So we'll see you on the 9th of July. So much love. Yeah.